All right, 5 minutes after 9 o'clock, 64 degrees, and it's time for Veterans News. Today, a special full-hour version of Veterans News. Hank Whittier is here. Good morning, Hank.
Hey, guys, thank you. And these are my favorite shows because we're just disseminating information, really medical information. It's outstanding. I'm not sure what the theme is today with the VA, but...
Diabetes mellitus.
Very good. Okay, we're good. We're on target. So, but... even though it's Christmas, we still do have casualties. That doesn't stop. We do have firemen, police officers, and military this morning. So, Dr. Knapp.
Okay, thank you, Hank. Unfortunately, we have a lot of casualties this morning, and we don't have the ages, but I'm sure these are all young men. Military casualties: Sergeant John Perry, Stockton, California, U.S. Army, died November the 12th. Private Tyler Ubelt, Tamara, Illinois, U.S. Army, died November the 12th as well. Sergeant First Class Alan E. Brown, Tacoma Park, Maryland, U.S. Army, died December 6th. Law enforcement casualties: Public Safety Officer Jody Smith, Georgia Southwestern State University, died December the 8th. And Police Officer Nicholas Smar, America's Police Department, Georgia, died December the 7th. And again, we have two firefighter casualties. Thomas Walker, Gaylord, Michigan, where I'm from, died November the 27th. And Charles Archer, Valleyford, West Virginia, I'm sorry, that's Washington. Washington died November 28th.
That's it. Anybody have any local they want to mention? Okay. Yeah, all of those are not killed in action, essentially. Everybody on that list. Larry, thank you, bud.
Sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Hey, guys. Okay, thanks. Listen, we got, of course, this is all made possible by Bob Wines and WOCA and Larry.
Yeah, we want to thank the source, because without them you wouldn't be hearing our voices, and the great folks at Bob Wines, Camellia Garden and Nursery, who are located at 2610 Southeast 38th Street in our own beautiful and wonderful Ocala. When it comes to your landscaping needs, Bob Wines has it. If they don't have it, you probably don't need it. Everything from small plants to large trees, mulch, fertilizer, and more. They will deliver, and when Bob Wines plants your trees, they guarantee it. Bob Wines has been keeping things blooming in Ocala since 1952, and that's a long time. And when you go in there, make sure you tell them you heard about them on WOCA. Show them your veteran's ID card, and you'll get a 10% discount. You just can't beat a deal like that, Hank.
No, that's good. Listen, I do it all the time, get that 10% off. But you have to proof of that you're a veteran, ID card from the VA or military or something, and that 10% works wonders. Listen, this is your last show, Dr. Knapp, officially representing the VA, and Dr. Torres is officially the interim director, and we're looking forward to working with him. And hopefully, if you're interested after the interim period, you become full-time. That would be nice, but we'll see how you feel afterwards. So, anyway, you've heard it for the last 6 months about all the recognition you got on the air. I'd like to tell you that you're going to be missed, and you made a difference. You made a difference in the community. You certainly made a difference with the veterans, and we appreciate all your service you provided. So, we appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Alrighty, you got a program. It's all yours, and Dr. Torres.
Yes, sir. Well, Hank.
Keep them on track now.
Yes, we do.
I want this on their evaluations if they mess up.
That's right. We're going to talk today about diabetes. We talked in previous programs before about it, but today we're going to dedicate a full hour of diabetes. So we're going to ask Dr. Knapp to talk to us about what is diabetes 1 and 2 and the limits of blood sugar. How many of our veterans do we have with diabetes in the clinic?
Well, very good. We have about 10,000 veterans, and the two big diseases we have, 50% of our veterans have hypertension, and Hank, 1/3 or 3,300 of our veterans have diabetes. And probably another 3,300 have what's called prediabetes. So it's about 2/3 have prediabetes or diabetes. And let me give you the blood sugar values that we look at. And when you come to the clinic, everybody gets a fasting blood sugar. So I'm sure you've heard this from your doctors. Prediabetes, blood sugar is between 100 and 125 fasting. And a blood sugar of 126 or above, on 2 occasions, we consider diabetes. When we go out in the community, we ask all our diabetics to know what's called the A1C, and we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But the A1C is a 90-day integration of your blood sugars, and an A1C of 6.6 or above qualifies as being diabetes. So again, it's about 1/3 of our veterans, so it's something that that we are skilled in, and that's one of the reasons we have a whole hour of this for diabetes with our pharmacist and dietitian.
Thank you, Dr. Knapp. We have Dr. Gary from pharmacy and Miss Sylvia Finch from dietitian or dietary. So we're going to talk to Dr. Gary. Can you tell us about the difference of insulin, different type of insulins that we have available in the VA?
Sure. The different types of insulin we use, it depends on how quickly they work, when they peak, and how long they last. So the onset of action is the length of time before reaching the bloodstream that it begins to lower the blood sugar. When we talk about peak, it means the time at which insulin is at max strength in terms of lowering the blood glucose or blood sugar, and the duration or how long it acts, how long it continues to lower the blood sugar over time. So rapid acting insulin, it begins to work about 15 minutes after the injection. It peaks about an hour and it lasts between 2 to 4 hours. Some of the types of rapid acting insulin that we have available at the VA is Humalog and or Lispro, and Aspart, which is Novolog. We also have regular acting or short acting insulin, which usually reaches the bloodstream within 30 minutes after an injection. The peak time is about 2 to 3 hours, and it lasts approximately 3 to 6 hours. And regular or short acting insulin is Novolin R or Humulin R. Intermediate acting insulin, it usually reaches the bloodstream in about 2 to 4 hours after an injection, and it peaks about 2 to 4 hours, but it lasts as long as 18 hours, usually between 12 and 18 hours. And the type of intermediate acting insulin is NPH insulin, or Humulin N or Novolin N. And we also have long-acting insulin, which reaches the bloodstream several hours after the injection, and it lowers the blood sugar evenly over 24 hours. Sometimes for different people, they do the long-acting insulin at 12 hours. They may take it twice a day. And we also have a combination of short-acting insulin and intermediate-acting insulin as well.
One thing I wanted to say, Dr. Torres, most of the insulins are taken before meals because they need a meal to act on, and the VA's been really great at as far as getting our short-acting insulins updated on our formulary. Mm-hmm. And as Dr. Gary has said, they take effect in about 15 minutes after you take your insulin. So you need to have a meal on board. If I can say this to our audience, one of the issues that I've seen in the last couple of months is lots of times our veterans will eat, then take their insulin many hours after they eat. So for short-acting insulin and intermediate-acting, with the exception of Lantus insulin, but for the majority of insulin, you need to take before meals. So if you took short-acting insulin that's going to drop your blood sugar before you go to bed with no food on board, you're going to have a hypoglycemia and symptoms. So especially for the short-acting, it needs to be taken before meals.
Can we explore the Lantus insulin? Does the VA? You got a break coming up, Larry?
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm used to being cut off.
That's okay. So we'll be right back.
come back.
And by the way, the phone lines are open if you want to ask any questions. This is a full hour show today, so we invite you to call in. The number is 622-9622. We will be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accidents. On this Thursday, a nice day with times of clouds and sun. There can be a shower near the coast. The high 70 to 75. And clear to partly cloudy Thursday night, lows ranging from the mid-40s in the coolest parts of the interior to 59 along the coast. For Friday, partly sunny. There can be a shower along the coast, high 73 to 77. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
If you or a loved one is suffering with knee, shoulder, neck or back pain, plantar fasciitis, peripheral neuropathy, and even tennis elbow, and would like to learn about how there are treatments that may benefit you, go to drjuanyordan.com, then listen in on the first and third Thursday at 10 a.m. and hear from health professionals doing these treatments and patients who have benefited from them. First and third Thursdays, 10 a.m. Next Generation MD, right here on The Source.
Sunrise Automotive, this is Matt.
Hey, Matt, it's Dan.
Hey, Dan.
Listen, we're going to be doing some traveling, and the wife, of course, is going to be doing a lot of shopping. I need to make sure the car is in good shape.
Why don't you just bring it on by? Let us check it out. We can check all your belts, your hoses, your tires, all your fluids. In out of town, is that up north and cold?
Yep.
Okay, let's check your antifreeze. Also, let's make sure your washer fluid has got alcohol in it so it doesn't freeze up north, because that makes for a rotten day. And let's check your air pressure in your tires. Let's look at your brakes, make sure everything is safe and secure there. Let's go through it and just make sure everything is ready to go on the road. You due for an oil change?
Yep.
Whenever you come in to get your oil change, we always check your belts, your hoses, all your lights. We go through and make sure that everything is working properly. We check all your fluid levels. We do that every time you come in to Sunrise Automotive.
So just call you back at this number?
Yeah, just give me a call back at 690-1993 whenever you're ready to come in. And you can drop it off, leave it with us, whatever's most convenient for you. Look forward to seeing you at Sunrise Automotive.
65 degrees, 18 minutes after 9 o'clock. Remember, today's Veterans News is a full hour Veterans News, and the topic of discussion is diabetes today. Hank Whittier is here with Dr. Jose Torres, and let's continue. And I'll throw it back to Hank. Hank?
Yeah, I'm back. I can talk now?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. No, I was just going to ask about the different types of insulin because I continually hear about a specific, the Lantus.
The Lantus,
And I know it's more expensive, but I know in the private world, my son, has an issue. So that's his doctor's preference on it's a long-lasting, apparently.
Yes, Lantus is one of the longer-acting insulins, and as I was saying, it usually lasts, or it's supposed to last about 24 hours, but, based on the individual, sometimes it only lasts between 12 hours to 24 hours. And it is available at the VA now. It's easier for the primary care providers to order that now. It used to be restricted, non-formulary. You had to have a consult, failed the NPH insulin, which is the intermediate insulin. But now it is available, as well as the aspart insulin is available too for primary care to order pretty easily now. What else was I going to say? There's the long-acting insulin is Lantus and Levemir or Dedamir, but our system primarily uses the Lantus or Glargine.
Thank you, Dr. Gary. I would like to encourage every patient and everybody that is listening to us this morning to talk to their providers and ask them very in detail what insulin, how they're going to use the insulin, when to use it, because this is very important to control the blood sugar levels. If you don't follow the instructions that the doctor is telling you, then your sugar is not going to be controlled, and the complication and consequences are going to come anyway. All right. So, Ms. Finch, can you discuss about a typical diabetic diet? And you was in the newspaper recently with the cooking classes in the clinic.
Right. Okay, so a typical diabetic diet consists of primarily controlling the carbohydrate intake. Okay, so carbohydrates are in a lot of foods that we eat. Fruits, starches, milk, yogurt, and of course, processed foods, sweets and chips and things like that. But the typical diabetic diet, the recommendation is about 45 to 50% of the calories coming from carbohydrate. So for somebody on, say, a 2,000 calorie meal plan, that might be somewhere between 200 and maybe 225 grams of carb per day, which, again, the typical diet, we do recommend that carbohydrate be evenly spread out amongst 3 meals. So somebody will want to eat a certain amount of carbs, say, so 2,000 would be maybe 60 grams at breakfast, 60 at lunch, 60 at supper. And if somebody doesn't know exactly, what that looks like or how to figure that out, that's when they would be referred to me for some help.
Thank you.
And you do have a phone call if you want to take a phone call. Just put your headsets on, you'll be able to hear the caller. And if you can hear me, then you'll be able to hear the caller. Good morning, you're on the air. Thank you for calling.
Yes, good morning, and thank you. With these mobile units that go around town to check your cholesterol and your sugar and your blood, are those tests fairly reliable?
Sorry, sir. Can you repeat the question?
Repeat the question.
The mobile units that go around and do blood work, to test the sugar in your blood and your cholesterol and so on and so forth. Are these tests, can you trust these tests? Are they very reliable?
Yes, you can trust tests that they're doing the mobile blood bank to, you mean the blood vans for blood transfusion?
Yes.
Yes, you can trust them because they need to test the blood before they process the blood for transfusion.
Oh, okay. So, in other words, if I go to a mobile outfit in town here, and I go for my blood work, and I get my results on my glucose, and that reading is going to be pretty true to what it's supposed to be, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
You are seeing a lot more of that. There are private companies providing that service for a fee, and it's just a diagnostic center that's mobile, and a lot of people utilize them. So that's a good question, because I often wonder myself how reliable they are.
We don't have issues, Hank, with the blood work. It's that a lot of mobile units are doing carotid ultrasounds, abdominal ultrasounds, heart ultrasounds, and when the veterans bring the information to the clinic, then sometimes it's a little bit hard to interpret, but we do look at that, and occasionally we have to reorder a higher test or more complicated test from the VA.
But normally the basic lab work is usually on target?
Yes, the lab work usually is not an issue at all. Yeah.
All right. Dr. Knapp, can you talk to us about how diabetes affect the eyes and how often a diabetic should get an eye exam?
Well, I've been a doctor a long time, and I'm used to seeing the terrible complications in the 1970s, 80s, and 90s of diabetes, including amputations. And believe it or not, although we don't see it these days, diabetes used to be the #1 cause of blindness in the country. And now we have better medications. Our diabetics are getting regular eye exams, and we don't see it. But what happens is when you have diabetic changes in your eyes, you actually end up with hemorrhages. You get protein exudate through the blood vessels. And when you do that, then you get scarring and fibrosis in the back of the seen part of the eye. And then you end up with things like you'll get retinal detachments. And a lot of your friends and neighbors who've been diabetic for a long time time probably have had laser therapy to prevent that. We don't see that hardly at all anymore, but we do have some veterans who have the eye complications, and of course the VA provides that kind of therapy.
You got another phone call there?
Do you have another phone call? Yes, sir. And Dr. Torres, you don't have to stand up. I was trying to figure out where that was coming from before, so hopefully I fixed it, okay? All right, let's go to the phone call. Good morning, you're on the air.
Hi, good morning. My question is, does the VA do diabetic eye exam, and how long does it take to get one?
Yes, ma'am. The VA we have a eye clinic, and we perform eye exams yearly, and we do eye exams as well as a routine basis for glasses.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
How long?
Correct scheduling phone number.
The direct scheduling number for the eye clinic is 352-861-3940. All right. Dr. Gary, can you talk to us about what type of individual therapy do you have for our veterans?
Okay, sure. As far as diabetic classes or hypertension
Diabetes classes,
yes.
hypertension.
Well, we have a group diabetes class that Sylvia plays a part in, and also a few of our RNs and myself as a pharmacist do a group class. I want to say it's once a month.
Correct.
It's done on the second
Tuesday.
Tuesday of every month, and how you get into the group classes. Your primary care puts in a consult, and then we schedule you for the group class. So you have a pharmacy portion of it, you have nursing, a primary care portion of it, and then you also have dietary and nutrition training. So and it's a very informative class. Sometimes we have veterans come back to do a refresher class. We just had one on this past Tuesday.
Right.
So, and also I do anticoagulation, which is for blood thinners for patients that have AFib mostly, or have had DVTs, PEs. I do manage those patients as well. I also help with smoking cessation classes. They've changed the way the consults are done for smoking cessation now. The primary care provider no longer has to enter the consult. That it's just done by the patient referral now. But I do participate in that as well. And then some hypertension. So our hypertension class has not been ongoing, but it is available. So
Okay. I think you had another phone call, right, Larry?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Good morning, you're on the air. Thank you for calling.
Yes, good morning. I just wanted to know if I needed to get a glucometer from the VA, how much would it cost me to get it? Is it free? And if I lose it, can I get a new one?
Well, that's a good question. You don't need to pay anything. We have them available as well, the supplies, alcohol swabs, lancets, and test strips.
Okay, thank you.
All right, very good.
I want to clarify what Charles was saying. Did you say that Hank failed the diabetic classes and had to come back for a refresher, or is that what you were saying?
Well, the truth of the matter is I failed every class. It's not just a diabetic class. I failed them all. I haven't yet to pass a test. The Boston public school system could have told you that.
We have another phone call, but we also have less than a minute, so let me see if I can get the question in.
Maybe you want to take the phone call?
Take the phone call, then we'll go to the break. Yes, sir. Good morning, you're on the air.
Yes, good morning. I have a question. If my A1C is high or my blood sugar out of control, can I email my blood sugar to my doctor?
Yes,
and
in
will
fact,
he
quick
email
answer,
me
I
back?
have a number of veterans that email me their blood sugars weekly because their A1C is high. So I'd recommend that our veterans take advantage of that, the secure messaging. And when our veterans are out of the state, they can email me their blood sugars, and we can adjust the insulin right over the email. It doesn't take a phone call, not a visit or anything. It just works out perfectly.
Let me go to the break. Ma'am, if you're still listening, I'll keep you on hold during the break. If you have a follow-up question, we'll go to the phone at that time. We'll take a little break and be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. An evacuation underway for tens of thousands of Syrians trapped in eastern Aleppo, where conditions are so desperate, this resident says.
There's no clean water even for a drink.
Their final destination, Idlib.
They are literally going from a frying pan into a fire. Idlib is, of course, under constant bombardment. Every day there most certainly isn't a ceasefire there at the moment.
Sam Kiley with Fox Sister Network Sky News. The evacuation part of a ceasefire deal to have the opposition surrender their last foothold in Aleppo to the Syrian government. The president-elect heading to Hershey, Pennsylvania, the next step of Mr. Trump's thank you tour. Meanwhile, a senior aide telling Fox and Friends,
I think you're going to see some senior staff appointments coming out and being made public, and that's important because the president-elect has been surrounded by a very small but very loyal and very sharp team.
Kellyanne Conway this morning, Fox News. We report, you decide.
In business, risks and rewards come with every decision, like moving to the cloud with Office 365. While its benefits include anywhere access and lower costs, cyber threats and user errors can quickly wipe out data and the money you save. Barracuda Essentials for Office 365 provide an added layer of security and functionality for threat protection, email migration, data recovery, and quality of service. Move securely to Office 365. Visit barracuda.com/essentials to learn more.
When I listen to Audible, I'm not on mile 2 of my early morning run. I'm out searching for clues in the abandoned toy factory near the cemetery. As I make my way down to the basement, I can't help but feel like I'm being followed. Did that doll just move?
Who's there? They're getting closer!
I should really get a treadmill.
Go to audible.com/actnow and your first download is free. Audible. Stories that surround you.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Hi, my name is Erica Olstein. I'm a doctor of acupuncture and oriental medicine. Do you have a gout-ridden toe or bowels that move too slow, creaky knees, or how about an asthmatic wheeze? Then acupuncture is sure to please. Come visit me, your primary care physician, Erica Olstein at A Better You Healthcare. Call me at 352-615-5566. That's 352-615-5566.
You have that drip coming down from the corner of the room, but where did it start from?
Bone Dry Roofing can and will fix it right the first time using quality materials and will deal honestly and fairly with you, period. You can find Bone Dry Roofing on their website, bonedryroofingllc.com, and Facebook at Bone Dry Roofing LLC. Do it right before your roof needs a tarp to keep the elements out. Bone Dry Roofing stands behind their work to help make your home safe and secure, plus they have financing available. Remember, if you're not bone dry, then you're all wet.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Robin, how do you like my design?
You're designing a box?
That's not a box. It's a doghouse.
Rough draft for your rough? Sounds like you need personal service.
I do?
Yes, to print the blueprints. See Mark at the Personal Service Center. He can print blueprints, notarize permit applications, print and mail out invoices, and even provide great-looking business cards.
Personal Service Center. That's the one on the corner of Northeast 25th Avenue and 24th Street, right?
Just look for the yellow signs. Your pedigree palace will be a reality in no time.
That was the sound of a tree falling. It could be your tree. You're going to have it trimmed, but never got around to calling Pride Tree Service. It could have fallen in a field, and now all you have to do is call Pride Tree Service, and they'll have it quickly out of the way for a great price. But don't wait until the tree falls. It may not fall in the field. It may hit your car, your house, or worse. So call Pride Tree Service today and avoid all those headaches before they happen. Pride Tree Service, 572-2510. That's 572-2510.
All right, 25 minutes before 10 o'clock, 65 degrees, and Veterans News is on for another 25 minutes. So if you have any questions during the next 25 minutes, we invite you to call. The number is 622-9622. Let me throw it back to Hank Whittier.
Do you still have that person on the line holding?
No, sir.
Okay, listen, I'll give it back to Dr. Torres.
All right, Hank, thank you. So, Ms. Finch, can you talk to us about the different type of diets and nutritional counseling about the paleo diet and Mediterranean diet?
Sure. So the paleo diet is somewhat of a very popular fad diet right now. Actually, to me, it started out as a fad because it was new and everybody is getting on board. But it's actually better than what I thought after I found out a little bit about it. But so the paleo diet is based on the old Stone Age, what people of 2 million years ago were eating, which most of them were hunters and gatherers. The main structure, though, of the diet or guidelines is that it's very little to no processed foods. The diet consists of fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, nuts and seeds, seafood, fish. It excludes dairy and grain products, and of course processed foods, again, meaning no processed sugars. So it's actually not too bad of a diet. A lot of people are following it. Some of it do turn it into a low-carb diet also. So the fact that it's very low in processed foods and high in fruits and vegetables, it can be actually a very good, healthy diet. Now, the Mediterranean, that's a diet that has actually been studied. It's based on the people that were living in Crete, and the studies actually from it started in the 1940s. But basically what the Mediterranean diet is, it's based on traditional foods from countries that surround the Mediterranean Sea, such as France, Spain, Italy, Greece, Portugal. Its basic guidelines are to eat lots of vegetables, the least processed the better, small amounts of meat, so meaning they recommend the meat portion to be almost like a condiment or very 3-ounce small. I know that sounds small. Seafood twice a week. Healthy fats and oils, which would be your monounsaturated and polyunsaturated, which includes canola oil, olive oil, omega-3 fatty acids, which are in fish, also found in nuts and seeds. A little bit of dairy, but keeping it low fat, using fruit for dessert, and wine in moderation. So it's a very heart-healthy type of meal
You need to
plan.
repeat that for Jinky. You need to repeat that. The size of her meat portions is 5 times what you're talking about.
4 ounce. Oh, well, that's not too far. So 3 ounces a deck of cards if you're trying to visualize it.
You were lying. We had dinner the other night. She ate a whole cow. Okay. It's disgusting.
Her iron is high.
There's nothing wrong with meat.
We need it for iron. The iron in animal meat is best absorbed.
No meat?
I must
No,
say.
he doesn't eat meat at all.
Really?
I'm forcing him to.
Really? No fish? You don't eat meat?
A little fish and a little bit of chicken. That's about
Okay, so you eat chicken.
Congratulations. Good.
All right. Dr. Knapp, how we control the A1C when it's in higher levels, saying over 9, 12?
Well, we, at our intermission of it, was mentioning that we consider an A1C of 9 or above to be kind of, it's an urgency. We really need to hop on that. And one of the theories of this radio program is that the VA benefits for our veterans are a team approach. And that's why we have a dietitian, a pharmacist, and myself on the radio. In the VA system, I think it's about 18% of veterans have an A1C of 9 or above. In the VA clinic in Ocala, we're below 10%. So we really think we're doing a good job, but we could do better, obviously. So I'll tell you about a veteran quickly. And we had a religious individual who'd been in the VA system through the country for 10 years, never had an A1C less than 10, 11. And he came to us before he went to Europe, and he was only going to be here for 6 months. And I went back through his records, and we saw him every single week for 3 months. He saw dietary, he saw nutrition, he went to diabetic classes, we adjusted his insulin, and when he left for Europe for a number of years, his A1C was 7.0. It was a real success story, and really was a testimony to the fact that 90% of the time we can get those A1Cs down, but we just need to invoke the entire team to work on the problem.
That's right. The work is a teamwork between provider, pharmacy, and dietary, and the patient willing to do their part at home. So, Dr. Gary, can we talk to us? We know that there's a lot of different medications, formulations outside, metformin and other glipizide, glyburide, and there's a new generation class of medicines. One of them is called Januvia or SLGT inhibitors. Can you talk to us about them?
Yes, the Januvia or gliptin, sitagliptin. I think it came out in about 2006, but it's a class of medication called dipeptidyl peptidase 4 inhibitors, which is DPP4 inhibitors. But that's an enzyme that helps increase the levels of the incretin hormones, and it also increases insulin production in response to meals, and it decreases blood sugar or glucose from the liver. It lowers the A1C a little bit less than 1%, about 7%. It's not for type 1 diabetics. 7/10. I'm sorry. Did I say 7%? I'm sorry. Not for type 1 diabetics, and also it's usually not used for patients that have a history of pancreatitis or heart failure. The others in that class, which is Tradjenta, I think, is the newest one, and there's another one, Saxagliptin or Onglyza. Another class of one of the newer agents are the SGLT2 inhibitors, or sodium glucose transporters, or gliflozins. They inhibit the reabsorption of blood sugar in the kidneys, and that's how they lower blood sugars. Invokana is one, Jardiance is one, or Farxiga is another one. And this lowers the A1C about 1%. It also helps with weight loss, about anywhere between 4 to 7 pounds usually. And it also has some benefits to lowering blood pressure. So
good.
Okay. I just want to say that I tried to get Januvia the other day, and they actually gave me Farxiga instead. So the VA formulary switches back and forth, but we can get some of these medications. And the most interesting thing about the SGLT2 inhibitors is it actually, there's some suggestive data, it actually may decrease mortality if you use it in diabetics, which is unusual because most of the drugs do not show that.
That's right.
Especially with patients with cardiac history as well. So,
Ms. Finch, can you talk to us about the nutrition counseling that is provided in the Cascades, and does the veteran, can they come with the spouse to the classes?
So, I do individual counseling, and whoever is involved with either cooking or grocery shopping, being a spouse or significant other or even other family member, can certainly come with the veteran. Of course, it helps with knowing exactly who's making the choices of buying the food, fixing the food, providing the food. So definitely we encourage significant others or spouses to come with individual and with even group classes. I encourage that. So yes, I do individual counseling, 30 to 60 minutes. I do weight management group classes, the diabetes classes we've been talking about. There's, let's see, what else? And someone involved in hypertension on occasion. And so we do have obesity for weight management, and there is one exercise class that we offer once a week on Thursday afternoons. If the veteran is interested in getting into that, they just need to mention it to their doctor or nurse, and a consult can be entered for that too.
That's the MOVE program?
Yes, that is actually through the MOVE program, the exercise class.
Doctor, we have a break coming up, so we'll take a little break. We've got 15 minutes left in the show. If you'd like to call in, the number is 622-9622. We will be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accidents. On this Thursday, a nice day with times of clouds and sun. There can be a shower near the coast. The high 70 to 75. And clear to partly cloudy Thursday night, lows ranging from the mid-40s in the coolest parts of the interior to 59 along the coast. For Friday, partly sunny. There can be a shower along the coast, high 73 to 77. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY, only $4.99. Plus, DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
Hi, I'm Seth with AA Lock, Dock, and Security. Have you ever thought about the locks or security on your house or business? Have you ever wondered why the keys to your new car cost so much? Well, at AA Lock, Dock, and Security, we can help with securing your valuables. We can even replace those expensive transponder keys. We can give you the knowledge that no one else will. Call AA Lock, Dock, and Security at 867-1965. That's 867-1965.
Central Florida Eye Institute is the area's leader in laser vision correction. From high-definition refraction surgery and LASIK vision correction to custom cataract, glaucoma, and diabetic treatment, you can count on Dr. Crowley and his effective, friendly staff to provide you with the quality care you deserve. Call 352-237-8400 for an appointment or more information. That number again is 352-237-8400. Looking forward to service your vision needs.
That was the sound of a tree falling. It could be your tree. You're going to have it trimmed, but never got around to calling Pride Tree Service. It could have fallen in a field, and now all you have to do is call Pride Tree Service, and they'll have it quickly out of the way for a great price. But don't wait until the tree falls. It may not fall in the field. It may hit your car, your house, or worse. So call Pride Tree Service today and avoid all those headaches before they happen. Pride Tree Service, 572-2510. That's 572-2510.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
94% of recruiters use LinkedIn to find people to hire, but only 36% of job seekers are active on the LinkedIn site. Can you change a flat tire? In an emergency, I'm not sure I could today. And it turns out 60% of the population in North America cannot. According to a study from Indiana University, emails are more effective at conveying romantic feelings than leaving a voicemail or texting.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
All right, 12 minutes before 10 o'clock, 65 degrees here at the studios. Let's return now to Veterans News. The phone lines are open if you would like to call in. The number is 622-9622. Dr. Jose Torres is talking about diabetes today. Back to you, Dr. Torres.
Thank you, Larry. Ms. Finch, can you talk a little bit more about the MOVE program and weight loss?
Sure. So I do the MOVE program, which is a VA nationwide weight management program. This program has been going on for at least, I want to say, 10 to 15 years. Again, it's nationwide. There's many different types of programs within the VA. The main one is that I do group classes on Monday mornings from 9 to 11 a.m. And it is a series of 8 group classes. And again, if spouses or significant others want to bring somebody with them, we have space for that. It is a group. I enjoy doing the group because everybody gets involved. We do have discussions on certain topics that I'm going over as far as the educational aspect or part of it. Of course, I teach nutrition. That's my specialty, but I also include a little bit of behavior management and exercise, and that would be the class that's offered on Thursdays. We teach healthy eating with what's called the plate method now. Instead of the food group pyramid, we now do the plate method, where half your plate is fruit and veggie, and we encourage exercise too. And we often have a good time in the class.
Good. Dr. Knapp, can you talk to us about what is hypoglycemia and why it's dangerous?
Well, the pendulum's kind of swung a little bit about diabetic control in this country. It used to be we wanted to get the A1C as low as we possibly could. And there's been some studies that show that getting an A1C too low causes low blood sugar. So a good diabetic, definition of diabetes is an A1C of 6.5 or above. I'll repeat that, 6.5 or above. For a good controlled diabetic, we want the A1Cs at 6.9 or below. So we have a lot of veterans that I see whose A1Cs are extraordinarily well controlled, 6.0, 6.1. But in studies that got the A1Cs that low, there was a lot of hypoglycemia or low blood sugars, defined as blood sugars below 60 or 70. And as you all know, if you've had low blood sugars, there's lots of symptoms, including altered mental status. When I get hypoglycemic, it takes me a few hours after eating to get my mentation back to normal. So we really try to prevent that. The other thing we're afraid of with hypoglycemia is heart problems. And also, unfortunately, we do see diabetics that become hypoglycemic driving a car and get into car accidents. So I pay a lot of attention, Dr. Torres, in my practice to not only the hyperglycemia and high A1Cs, but also hypoglycemia. So we try to run a fine line and run that A1C right down the middle, 6.9, 7.0 on the low 7s, to prevent complications on the high side and hypoglycemia on the low side.
Thank you. Dr. Gary, can you talk to us about other oral treatments for painful diabetic neuropathy?
Yes, some of the medications that we use for diabetic neuropathy that's on our formulary are tricyclic antidepressants, which is usually used as first line for diabetic neuropathy. That includes medications like nortriptyline or amitriptyline. We also use gabapentin, which is more common medication, and now we also have Lyrica, which is pregabalin or Cymbalta, but the main thing with those two, usually you have to have tried gabapentin, which is the formulary, before we would consider one of the newer agents such as Lyrica or Cymbalta, or if you're not able to tolerate the gabapentin. So.
All right. Dr. Knapp, why we need to take care of our feet when we are diabetics?
Well, we do encourage all our veterans to look at their that have diabetes to look at your feet every night and to check your shoes. Diabetics get complications related to three things. One is bad circulation, decreased pulses, decreased blood flow to the feet. Second is neuropathy, like Dr. Gary had just mentioned. And diabetic neuropathy, most of the time, is decreased sensation of your feet. So it's not uncommon for our diabetics on insulin, put on a new pair of shoes, walk around for 8 hours, you take them off, and your feet are bleeding, and you have a terrible ulcer on your toe. If you don't have diabetes, you'd know that and take your shoes off. But I've had some severe diabetics actually lose toes because of that. So be careful with your feet. And then finally, diabetics get deformities related to a loss of muscle function and loss of nerves. But this gives me the time to actually tell our veterans on the radio, we do have podiatry at the Cascades. So we have a full-time podiatrist, and I will tell you, she is absolutely outstanding. And we have people coming from other podiatrists to see her because she does such a good job. She sees most of our consults in less than 30 days. And it's a real benefit. She's only been on board about 11 months, but we added that service so that you don't have to drive to Gainesville or get your podiatry outside the VA.
Thank you. Ms. Finch, do you have any update about where the VA is offering obesity surgery or bariatric surgery for the veterans?
Yes. In order to be eligible for bariatric surgery through the VA, there is certain criteria that a veteran must meet. The first one is having a BMI greater than or equal to 40. But if their BMI is less than 40, they can still be eligible if they also have, say, diabetes, high blood pressure, with that other underlying disease with the obesity. They can be eligible. The other criteria is they must have demonstrated prior attempts at weight loss and compliance with a certain treatment program, which could be attending the MOVE groups or being seen as an individual through the MOVE group, or attending and being enrolled in an outside program where it's got three components, be it diet, behavior, and exercise. It must be comprehensive. They must also lose 10% of their starting weight within a period of not less than 3 months and continue to be active for approximately another 3 months, meaning keep that 10% weight loss off. Then they must be, they must go back to their doctor or provider and have a consult entered for the surgery. So there is a need to lose 10% of their starting weight in a program.
Okay.
And they would have to complete a MOVE program.
Correct, or some kind of other, structured program. Yes.
It's a multidisciplinary
Yes.
program between diet,
Exercise.
MOVE, exercise, dietitian, and psychology.
Right, behavior
Behavioral.
modification.
All right.
Exactly. And then there are certain things that would exclude them. One of them, unfortunately, it is age. If they are 65 or older within the VA, they are not eligible.
Okay.
And they're actually doing the regular. They're not doing the. I'm talking about the loop.
Roux-en-Y or the sleeve or the.
Yeah,
or
they're actually doing the Roux-en-Y, the major surgery.
Right, they've gone back to doing the Roux-en-Y because they do see that weight loss is better with the Roux-en-Y than the sleeve.
Right, with the banding.
The
banding. And actually, Dr. Torres had a patient who had a banding and lost no weight whatsoever. So that makes sense to.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Okay. So one of the most common medicines we've been talking in the program is metformin. Dr. Knapp, can you talk to us briefly about the side effects of this medication?
Well, metformin's got a bad name here recently, and metformin is the most common drug given diabetics, and by the American Diabetic Association, it's the first drug that's recommended. And many of you know it's free in the community, so you don't need to get it from the VA. We write prescriptions; it's totally free. A couple side effects. And we deal with. One is a lot of GI upset. And the VA, we actually have the long-acting formulation of this. So it spreads the drug absorption out over a period of time and actually decreases nausea or vomiting. My own personal opinion is it's associated with weight loss, and I think one of the reasons it's associated with weight loss is because it decreases your need to eat because you're a little bit on the nauseous side. Secondly, and Dr. Geary talked about diabetic neuropathy, I'm always concerned about B12 deficiency can cause that as well. And if I see a diabetic with neuropathy, I check a B12. Metformin decreases absorption of B12. So if I have a diabetic with neuropathy that takes metformin, I immediately check a B12. And most of the time, I'll even put them on B12 because, as you know, all of you that take B12 in the community, it doesn't hurt. So we do work with metformin, and it does lower your A1C probably by 1 full percentage point. So even if you're on insulin, it's actually a drug that is good to take. I did want to mention Dr. Torres. We didn't mention it today on the radio, but when you need to be on insulin, when you need to be on insulin, it's a big issue. And most veterans are afraid to go on insulin. In the Cascades, we do insulin teaching. We provide the insulin. You bring your insulin to the Cascades. Your PAC nurse will sit down and give you a class, put you in the diabetic classes. So it's a seamless transition for teaching and getting you started on that. So no one should be afraid of having to take insulin.
You getting ready to wrap? What are you, about 30 seconds?
Yes, sir.
About 30 seconds. So why don't you just leave them with the phone numbers and how to get a hold of the VA? And
Our phone number, again, for same-day access for optometry audiology, we see you within a day or two for optometry, is 861-3940. And our phone number at the Cascades is 369-3320. And everybody should have the name of their PAC nurse. So if you have a question, you can come by. Your nurse will call you back. And if you need to make an appointment, just call in.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, we appreciate you all being here. Have a Merry Christmas. I hope you all do. And I am registered at Automax, in case you want to know that. Listen, thanks a lot. And again, everybody out there, appreciate your service, and God bless America, everybody. Thank you.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala.
Republicans for refusing to brief some lawmakers on alleged Russian hacking.
The intelligence community wants to wait to brief Congress until after they wrap up an investigation requested by the White House, forcing the House Intelligence Committee to cancel a planned briefing today. Republican New York Congressman Peter King is accusing the intelligence community of trying to put a cloud over the election.
Fox Radio's Rachel Sutherland. Britain becomes the first country to approve a controversial technique which allows doctors to create babies using DNA from 3 people. Peter Thompson, head of the British fertility regulator, saying in the event that several steps are met first.
We could conceivably be looking at the birth of a healthy child around about the end of next year.
The technique could help prevent children from inheriting potentially fatal diseases. Fox News, we report. You decide.
In business, risks and rewards come with every decision, like moving to the cloud with Office 365. While its benefits include anywhere access and lower costs, cyber threats and user errors can quickly wipe out data and the money you save. Barracuda Essentials for Office 365 provide an added layer of security and functionality for threat protection, email migration, data recovery, and quality of service. Move securely to Office 365. Visit barracuda.com/essentials to learn more.
When I listen to Audible, I'm not on mile 2 of my early morning run. I'm out searching for clues in the abandoned toy factory near the cemetery. As I make my way down to the basement, I can't help but feel like I'm being followed. Did that doll just move?
Who's there? They're getting closer!
I should really get a treadmill.
Go to audible.com/act now, and your first download is free. Audible, stories that surround you.
Today in Florida Ag News, I'm a Southeast AgNet. Well, the application deadline for landowners in Florida interested in agricultural land easements is February 24th for fiscal year 2017 funding. USDA's Natural Resources Conservation Service in Florida is providing financial assistance to partners for purchasing agricultural land easements that protect the use of cropland, rangeland, grassland, pasture land, and non-industrial private forest land. In the case of working farms, the program helps farmers and ranchers keep their land in agriculture. The program also protects grazing uses and related conservation values by conserving grassland, including rangeland, pastureland, and shrubland. Partners include Indian tribes, state and local governments, and non-governmental organizations that have farmland or grassland protection programs. So again, the batching deadline for 2017 funding for agricultural land easements is coming up February 24th. To learn more, simply visit your local NRCS office.
Kubota's new M7 series helps you get the most success out of every acre. With 170 horsepower, unprecedented comfort, and premium performance features. Right now, a Kubota M7 can be yours with 0% financing for up to 84 months and a generous competitive trade-in bonus. The M7 is Kubota's smartest and largest tractor ever. Add one to your year-end checklist. Call toll-free 1-800-794-4992 for details about cost and power and other specifications are based on various standards or recommended practices.
I've been looking all over the world.
Hey y'all, I'm Josh Turner. Whether you're a hometown girl or a backwoods boy, come to Nashville for the 2017 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show. You'll see the biggest cattle industry trade show with over 6 acres of displays, plus an exclusive concert with Cowboys Night at the Opry. Mosey on down to Music City, February 1st through the 3rd. Find out more at beefusa.org.
Randall Wiseman, Southeast AgNet.
Are you in need of custom screen printing, embroidery, or promotional items? Then look no further and come visit the brand new Legacy Team Sales. LTS is conveniently located off 17th Street next to Armstrong Homes in beautiful Ocala. We offer the best prices and highest quality products for your company, team, school, or nonprofit. Whether looking for screen printed shirts, embroidered polos, or travel team uniforms, you'll be sure to find it at Legacy Team Sales. Come visit our new 27,000 square foot facility. Our friendly and knowledgeable sales staff will assist you in every part of your custom purchase. LTS carries the hottest brands in the industry like Under Armour, Russell, Mizuno, Asics, Badger Sports, Gildan, Pacific, Ogio, and many more. At LTS, screen printing embroidery is done in-house and we guarantee customer satisfaction. Stop by, give us a call, or check us out on the web at shoplts.com. Remember the name, LTS.
Hi, this is Larry Whitler.
And this is Robin McLean.
From AM Ocala Live. And Robin, I love Christmas.
Oh, me too.
I love it because we give things.
Oh, yeah.
We get things.
And see all the smiling faces.
It snows.
Oh, yeah.
And we
have hot chocolate.
And we get to do these Christmas greetings on the radio.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
And thank you for listening and for helping out with all of our things that we do.
God bless.
All year long.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala! All right, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this first day of December. Wow. Somebody posted on Facebook a video of Tina Turner, the singer, getting out of a limousine.
Wow.
Her birthday was November 26th. She just turned 77 years old, and I think this was just like a week or so ago. So she gets out of the limousine, and she is strutting with her beautiful legs at 76, 77 now, Robin.
Yeah, she's beautiful and gorgeous.
And this, for me, was the year of the legs, because this year I had to go and have a lot of things done to veins inside my. And there was a period of time I think, oh my gosh, I got to make sure I take care of this because I don't want to not be able to walk. Tish Moeller here, she had some knee replacement stuff done, I think. I don't want to speak out of line, but she had something with her knees. Whenever we speak to Mark Shaw over at Dr. Juan Jordan's office down in the Villages, I listen. I don't know if he knows this, but I listen real carefully because a lot of what he says, I'm taking like mental notes, thinking I got to maybe look into this myself, So let's talk to him right now. Mark is on the phone. He represents Dr. Juan Jordan down in the Villages. Among other things, they talk about medical weight loss. I could use that too, by the way. But the platelet-rich plasma is the thing that always gets my attention because that's how they're treating some people with knee and other joint problems. Good morning, Mark. How are you?
Good morning, Larry. How are you?
I'm all right. Have you seen Tina Turner lately? She's unbelievable.
Buddy,
she's fabulous.
I have, along with Tina Turner and many, many other athletes and professionals who, whether they're on stage or whether they're professional golfers or football players or baseball players, you're starting to see, for example, in recent years, players going longer in their professional NFL, Major League Baseball careers and so on, and it's because of platelet-rich plasma and stem cell. That is the reason why they're getting more longevity than they did. Obviously everybody knows football's a very violent game.
Right.
It used to be your average career was 4, 5, maybe 6 years. Now you're seeing